Welcome to The Lock Shop with Nielson and Hustler.
All right, it is 11:01. You're riding with The Lock Shop. Thank you very much for being here. Dusty with you. Hustle will be by shortly. Gene Principe cuts his hair as the team has won 4 in a row in the playoffs. What is happening? What is going on here? Of all the times, Gino, you don't realize that people are going to hate you forever if they end up losing this series. Bold. I mean, it looks terrific. We'll get into it a little bit on two guys and a goalie today. But the whole office was just stunned. Reed Wilkins was like Ace Ventura when he saw Ray Finkel in that team picture. He's like, look at this. Look at this. I'm like, just tell me. He goes, no, look at this. So I go over and I looked and I said, who the hell is that? Anyway, Principe cutting his hair. Looking tight. Looks like a completely different person. But an interesting time nonetheless. All right, the Lock Shop and all of Edmonton Sports Talk is brought to you by our partners over at Play Alberta. Why limit your choices when you can have it all? Play Alberta is your go-to app for casino games, sports betting, and lottery, all in one place with easy access to real money games. You can enjoy everything that Alberta has to offer right at your fingertips. Download the Play Alberta app now and start playing today. You can also go over to playalberta.ca. I see somebody over in the chat asking for the codes, and thank you to those of you who passed them along. These are all EST exclusives, so they know when people use them, they're coming from us, which is great. Deposit $20 right now at playalberta.ca or on the app, and you'll get a $100 free bet on sports. That's for new and existing players. You can enter the code YAG50, and with a $5 minimum deposit, you'll get a $50 free bet. New and existing users. And then if you want to check out the casino, deposit 20, use the promo code 100casino, and you will get a $100 casino bonus for new and existing players as well. The promo codes, once you put them in and you get your free bet, you have 7 days to use your free bet or it goes away. So don't sit on it. That would suck, the big one, if you miss that. And if you use the casino bonus, that money is only good for the casino. If you use sports bonuses, it's only good for sports betting. You can't flip it over to the casino. Mark A says, how about that NBA upset parlay? Man, what a night in the association last night. We'll have to get to that one as well. I was looking at it yesterday. I was like, I think I like both teams on the big numbers, like the dogs on a spread. And then they go out and do what they did in just thrilling fashion, come from behind victories for the underdogs, which was pretty impressive. We've already got a nice slate on our EST specials page over at playalberta.ca. The grandest of parlays still to come from the DGen Den. Those boys are still putting it together. Also, shout out to them. They cashed yesterday, so that was nice. Here's what we got laid out for you right now on our specials page. Oilers and Caps to win their series combined, plus 305, so they both have to win the series. That one's up. That'll be up until puck drop tonight. Jay's play of the day yesterday was boosted. 5% boost on that one, up to plus 120. He had the Edmonton Elks over 8.5 wins this season at plus 120. That will be up until 3 o'clock today. Then I'll go back to the regular number at plus 110. So if you want to get on that one right now, plus 120. Jay's play of the day for today is already up, and he's on the 2 underdogs tonight, Oilers and Caps to win in game 1. The early bird bet I put together earlier, the Oilers have not had a lot of success. They're 2-10 in their last 12 game ones. Maybe that changes tonight. You hope it changes tonight. But I didn't put the Oilers on the money line in the early bird bet just for that reason. We have a Draisaitl goal, we have a Bouchard assist, and we have Kane over 2.5 shots. So that's Kane 3+ shots, Bouchard assist, Draisaitl goal. That's plus 430. And then my play of the day, which is 3-0 in the Play Alberta era. I posted that on Twitter a little bit earlier today. Going back around to an Evan Bouchard assist again, plus 106 for a Bouchard assist. Did not realize this as they worked their way past the Kings, but Bouchard had 3 assists in game 1 and did not have an assist the rest of the series. So this guy is due for a helper here. So let's get on Evan Bouchard and assist at plus 106. Those are the 5 plays we have up on the EST specials page right now at playalberta.ca. I'll come up with something else here as we work our way through this bad boy as well. If you're over in the chat, share your favorite plays with us on YouTube and hammer the thumbs up and sub to the channel if you haven't already. And of course, you can text us anytime, 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. All right, this guy right here, Huss, he had a nice little feel on the Leafs last night. Plus 100 dogs in that game. And the Toronto Maple Leafs, it was a little nerve-wracking in that third period, Huss, but they managed to get her done.
Yeah, it was. I listened. Great start to round 2.
Yeah.
Great start to round 2 with the plus money dog. And listen, I think there's going to be real value in the dogs in this entire second round.
Second round.
I mean, I know that the Edmonton Vegas is basically a pick 'em, I think. The Oilers as an underdog tonight. I mean, we can really dive into this game, as we go throughout. But I think this is a great chance for Edmonton to go in and just grab home ice. They've got so much momentum from, winning those final 4 games. I think Vegas, we talked about it. They really had to work against Minnesota to get that win. And I know they did it in 6 games, but I mean, the fashion that they had to do it with the OT wins, I mean, they got pressed. Now, listen, I will put that top line of Minnesota when they're cooking the way they are right now. I mean, or were with Kaprizov and Boldy playing with Eriksson Ek up maybe in the top 5 of lines in the entire National Hockey League. The one that I can guarantee you, though, is that Chris Knobloch, if he chooses to, can put together a line that matches and maybe beats that the minute you got 29 and 97 on the same line. Do we know? Is that the way they're projecting?
That's how they've been. That's how they've been rolling for the last little while. I mean, I wouldn't read too much into, and that's how they've been rolling in practice as well.
So I mean, listen. I mean, as we all know, this is all subject to change depending on how the game goes. But that's a real handful. With those guys feeling it right now, and knowing how important Game 1 wins are. I mean, I don't think, correct me if I'm wrong, but historically the Oilers haven't been particularly good in the first game of series.
Yeah, 2 and 10 in the last 12 game ones, and they've won 8 series with McDavid and Draisaitl, and have trailed in 7 of them. So they just are perennial poor starters in playoff series. And I don't know if this is the one that they choose to turn it around, Huss, but that would go a long way. I mean, if you pick the Oilers to win this series, if they can get Game 1 tonight, considering what we've seen them do the last 4 games and the fact that we've seen this team go on all-time heaters over the last couple of years, I just think they'd be in such a good spot. More so than some other teams, because they're usually trying to scramble out of it midway to the late part of a series.
Yeah, listen, I think this is going to be a really good series. I imagine it'll go 6 or 7. But I do think that we're going to see teams win in the other team's building. And I kind of think, like, as much as that is an ugly, ugly stat of 2 and 10, I think because of that, realizing that they're on the road in this series, I mean, they don't have home ice, and the quality of their opponent and their recent playoff history against this team, it almost makes this game that much bigger for Edmonton than maybe it does for Vegas. Listen, I'm obviously looking at this through an Edmonton perspective right now, but these guys know how hard it is to come back in these series and to give themselves a better start, especially knowing what they know last year about the grind that it takes to get to the Stanley Cup final and what it takes out of you. Not having to scratch and claw and win every series in 7 games from coming back would actually be a pretty good thing if you're planning on getting to the finish line. So I'm actually really, I can't wait for this game tonight. I'm really excited about the Oilers' chances on this, and I think I'm going to be playing the Oilers as a single. And I love the Capitals. I mean, Mike Kelly put out his ClearSight Analytics. I think that's who he works with. Anyways, the from NHL.com put out his just running the models for the series, and both Winnipeg and Washington, when you run the numbers, are between 55 and 58% to win their series. And when you look at the odds, it would indicate that it's more like about 40%.
Yeah, it's not adding up, is it?
So, I mean, to me, there's real value on both of these teams. I mean, Washington starting it off at home after going, and now neither of these teams had a particularly long first round. They both had some time to get ready. But I think that Washington, as a home dog tonight, very, very live, as well as the Caps to win the series. I mean, I think both the Jets and Capitals, which they've been sort of all season long, are being overlooked a little bit by teams that in recent years have had more playoff success and playoff history. So much like we jumped on Toronto last night at a plus money number to get the first win, I like Washington in that, and I'm pretty high on Edmonton's chances to change some reason. Hey, much like you just said, Bouchard went the whole series without an assist. He's due. The Oilers are due to play well in game number 1.
Yeah, I know they are, and then those two things come hand in hand, which I would like to see. Yeah, Bouchard had 3 assists in game 1, and then did not have an assist in the final 5 games of that Oilers Kings series. So, I mean, this is a guy who had like almost 60 assists during the regular season. So he's 100% due for an assist in these playoffs. So Bouchard, 1 assist or more, plus 106. And that Edmonton Oilers, Washington Capitals, both the dogs, it's Jay's play of the day, plus 341 over on the EST specials page. What do you make of Gene Principe cutting his hair after the team won 4 in a row? He's going to be on the call for the second round. They're taking the Oilers home team on the road for that. He has not cut his hair since November 23rd, Huss, and he has cut his hair before the beginning of round 2.
Vegas might sweep.
Yeah, that's what I was worried about, especially after we had the Stoff slow motion walk last night. Did you see that? People are like, screw it, Oilers in 3. Now Gene cuts his hair, and I don't know what to say.
Okay, I had no idea about this Gene Principe development.
Yeah, just went down.
Give me the background on what, like, did he say if the Oilers come back and win the next 4 games, he'll cut his hair? Was there some sort of...
No, it's funny because we don't have him on very often, but we had him on 2 Fridays ago. He's teamed up with one of our partners at the Italian Center for a pepperoni Principe. So it's like they're doing these pepperoni pizzas.
What's the connection there?
He's an Italian guy. Yeah, exactly. I know.
Oh, is he? Oh,
yeah, he's an Italian guy. Who would have known? So $2 from every one of those pizzas is going to Sports Central, charities we worked with for a long time. And when we had him on, I brought it up. I said, does anybody at Sportsnet ever? I mean, if I rolled on to a CFL and TSN broadcast with my hair stuck up like this, somebody would put in a text and be like, "Hey, Dusty, tidy it up a little bit." Gino was like, no, I haven't really said anything. And then he said,
listen, dude, Sportsnet's a different animal. Do we not remember how Elliot Friedman was allowed to go on television
looking like a hobo?
Pandemic? The most absurd. I love Elliot. He is the best in the biz. That was the most absurd look in the history, not just of sports broadcasting, I might say of television. I mean, Elliot Friedman's beard, and if no one knows what I'm talking about, feel free to go to Google. I'm sure there'll be some beauties up there. He had the most ridiculous beard I have ever seen in my life. I'm going to roll out there with this nice suit every night, and then the caveman beard that we will always remember. So yeah, I mean, I think he sort of can get away. But the thing is, Gene looks amazing with that lid.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not sure anything's ever going to be the same. How long, did he get it all cut?
Oh, it's tight.
Does he have short hair now?
Oh, yeah, he's got short hair now. Go to Principe's Twitter right now. I'd love to see your reaction. I just retweeted it as well. If it's easier for you to find my tweet. I had to second look at it. It's like second take. I was like, who's the guy on the left? It's Gene Principe. Jeez. And this is after being in the middle of the moss pit with that hair just flowing, doing the conga line after game 6.
Oh my God.
Yes.
What? Nice cut, Gene, by the way. I have nothing bad to say about the work that he got done, but this is I'm just looking at the comments here. Cutting the hair mid-playoffs is a crazy move. Huh. Looks great. Reminds me a bit of Vince McMahon. I'm sure he'll love that. Chill, bro. My girl is on this app. Gene, please delete this. I'm scared my wife might see this and leave me. These comments are amazing.
Oh yeah, there's some good ones in there.
I saw this tweet from my girlfriend's account and it was already bookmarked. These other ones. Yeah, Vegas in 4. Grow that playoff beard. Gino, no. I like the wild Gene more, but I can't deny that the coiffed Gene looks more presentable. This is a development.
Big time story.
Hit me with a lot of things today, Dusty, on the lock shop. I'm not sure. This would have been a plus 1 million underdog. Gene Principe haircut mid playoffs.
This is the story that we didn't need heading into game one. Like, we did not need to spend two guys in the goalie today 30 minutes looking at pictures of Gene's hair. But here we are. This is it. This is what happens when the Oilers actually dress the exact same lineup for 5 games in a row. People need other things to talk about, so Stoff starts strutting down the tarmac in Vegas, and Gene Principe gets a bloody haircut. Unbelievable.
The Stoff show is unstoppable right now. I mean, I saw that thing that you tweeted out, and I'm like, this is, it doesn't get any better than this. Like, the swag of Stoff is, it's the 10 out of 10. It's a 10 out of 10.
I'll say this. He cleans up nicely for the video. It's just, it looks pretty sharp. We were talking about it this morning. Which Tom Cruise character would you have liked to seen Stoff play? Because Stoff always says in this market that he looked like a young Tom Cruise when he was younger. He looked like Tom Cruise. So it's a running bit in this city.
What was number one? I know what my pick is.
Well, my number one was the movie Minority Report, so that he could beat Tom Cruise in Minority Report. And that was the one that predicted murders. And my joke was it could predict all the bad trades that the Oilers made along the way. So when Stoff gets like the red ball and it's like Griffin Reinhart, he has to run and stop the trade before it happens.
I'm thinking Cocktail.
Cocktail. Yes.
Stoff, the little tank top, flair bartending with all those ladies around him. Come on.
Oh my God. Anyway, there's that. Phyllis says, guys, I mean, Gene's main recognizable feature is his hair. Jimmy C says, I can't remember, but does Gene not donate it for charity? I know he's done that in the past. I'm not sure if do you think he gets this cut done in Vegas, Huss? Do you think Gino had a couple too many last night and was like, let's go get my hair cut?
Just like some people get wasted and go get tattoos.
Yeah, go get tattoos. Gino got drunk at the lobby bar and went and got his hair cut for $6.
Staying at the Wynn. They got a barber right here. He went and got that's a $200 haircut right
That's
there.
a local job. I think that's got to be a local job. There's no way Gene lets somebody in Vegas cut his hair. That doesn't make any sense to me.
I agree. Yeah, you got to have a guy for that. I mean, if you're going to go to that, if you're going to make that move at this time, knowing that you're going to be on the tube immediately with everyone seeing it, you got to have a trusted man or woman to take care of that business. I love that.
Interesting point over on YouTube, though. Maybe the haircut changes the game one mojo. 2-10 in their last 12 game ones. Maybe that's the thought process behind this, not they've won 4 in a row and look amazing right now. This is a long play on the game one storyline.
Interesting.
I can't wait to see his open. His open's going to be great. He's got to tie in the haircut. I mean, he can't. There's nothing else that he could go to.
You know what? I think maybe you just nailed it. Maybe it will be a new series.
It's time for a change.
New look.
A change
start.
like me. Yes.
Maybe the Oilers can go on and win a hockey game on the road to start things off. But yeah, what are your thoughts on the series for the not as much the series, like who's going to win the series, but who are you looking for big series as far as, like overs? If we wanted to be jumping on, if we wanted to, Nick Cosentino has just actually sent us on Twitter a Rashog, Rashog gift as well.
I see, but the thing is that comes from like Rashog's got your back account, which means he or one of his guys made it for himself. Which is a little I could see if somebody else makes that thing, but if you're making it, put it out for yourself. I don't know.
Oh, that's a tough look. I
don't know. That's a tough look. That's a tough look.
Oh my God. It's a don't forget about me.
I mean, I know Rashog wasn't on the road for the first round. I know he's on the road for the second round. This might be a little bit too much. Now, I guess it could have been the producer of Got Your Back who made this, but I mean, I don't know if it's a good look coming from the Got Your Back pod account.
I'm going to pass on this one. Great photo. Great work on the Photoshop. Shog's hair is always looking tight. So,
yeah, I mean, let's be honest. That hair is AI. I mean, come on, Shoggy. Hey, Shoggy, come on.
Listen, is this gonna be a McDavid series? Is this gonna be a dry series, or like we saw at the end of LA Oilers? Might there be some value on like some goal or point totals for this series for some of the guys that frankly we don't even think of, because it's all about the big boys when you're talking Edmonton Oilers in the playoffs?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because even last series, I wouldn't have necessarily described that series as a McDavid-Draisaitl series, but as we mentioned earlier in the week, they did combine for 21 points and both comfortably covered their overs in that series. So I said this morning, I think a lot of this, that second line, if they're going to leave McDavid and Draisaitl together, the second line is going to have success. And the second line is Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Zach Hyman, and Evander Kane. And I'd like to see them left together for a decent amount of time. I think it's starting to come. And I think if those guys can continue to click and even get a little bit better, I think that line could be a big difference maker in this series. And then, you've got the Connor Browns and you got, what do they call him? Matthias, Mario Lemieux, Janmark coming out of the first round after he let that pass go between his legs in game 6. People are like, my God, he looks like Mario Lemieux out there. So there are some guys who could step up. But I think the Kane line with Nugent Hyman could really be a difference maker, especially if Dorofeyev's out, which I haven't seen an update yet today, but that's a 30-goal guy for Vegas that likely isn't going to be good to go here for game 1. Somebody let me know if that has changed. If that doesn't happen, then their second line is Thomas Hertl with aging Brandon Saad, and then Kolasar, who's usually a fourth liner. So we'll see what the matchups are like and which group. I would assume Vegas probably wants Eichel out there against the McDavid line, but I think there could be some room here for Kane and Nuge and Hyman to really have a series, Huss. There is. They almost are really going to need that, because I do think that, if you like, Vegas is a really good, well-coached team. And if you are putting McDavid with Draisaitl, they're certainly, with last change, going to have the opportunity to have their favorable matchup on it. And listen, I did see something. I can't remember whether this is, I think it was Travis Yost that put this up, and this isn't great news for Oiler fans, but the 3 remaining teams in the West, Winnipeg, Dallas, and Vegas, were 3 of the top 4 teams in holding McDavid below what he normally does against a regular NHL. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's never easy against the Vegas Golden Knights. And to me, I mean, the matchups of the bottom 6 and getting production out of the bottom 6, I think in this series is going to be crucial. I mean, that Nicholas Roy, Barbashev, Riley Smith third line right now, I don't think they probably touch that when Kane comes back, or when Dorofeyev gets back. He'll just go back into the top 6, and Kolasar in all likelihood is going to come down and take Tanner Pearson's spot, I would suggest, on that fourth line. Brett Howden had 3 goals in the series too. I mean, he had
a great year.
He's playing some really, and typical Vegas move. Didn't they sign him to like a 5-year deal at $2 million a season or something like that?
Is that what Howden ended up getting?
He signed a long-term deal at like $2 million. So he's set there. He's enjoying himself. And maybe it's Olofsson that's actually out. The one thing that I'll say is, if it's Kolasar playing with Saad, I'll be very interested to see who Cassidy matches them up with, because especially with Kolasar, and probably the reason why he's going to get the nod up there, I think they're pretty confident with his 200-foot game. I think he's a pretty responsible player. Certainly added a bit more offense. but he is a load. And maybe I'm just still in shell shock from what the Blues did for 60 minutes every game to the Jets. But I would imagine that the Colasar shifts are going to be spent taking runs at whoever is out there in Edmonton Oilers jerseys, especially the guys on the blue line. They're going to be trying to dump the puck in deep.
Are you talking specifically to Evan Bouchard right now, Huss?
He's on the top of the list. I mean, he's on the top of the list. So that'll be interesting. And listen, they split Stone and Eichel up at one point in the first round. Now they've got them back, and Wild Bill has actually moved from center over to the left wing on that top line. So, I mean, fascinating matchups here. I mean, the one area that I'll certainly give the nod to Vegas is on the blue line. You got Pietrangelo with Haig, McNabb with Shea Theodore.
Great blue line,
and
buddy.
Noah Hannafin playing the third line with Zach Whitecloud, who's turned into a really reliable everyday defender right now. So the Oilers are going to have their hands full with that Vegas defense. But I do think that we're going to have a really fun, long series. But I think the door's wide open for Edmonton to come up with a good start tonight and steal home ice back after the first one.
It'll be the atmosphere here in Edmonton tomorrow morning. If they win game one, will be electric because we're just so used to this team losing game ones. If they were to win a game one, the Stanley Cup parade route is being designed tomorrow morning in the YouTube chat on the Nielsen show. I don't even think that's a stretch. So we'll see what happens in the game one tonight. If you are out and about, especially on the West End, feel free to pop by. We will be at the Westgate Boston Pizza. That, of course, is just north of West Edmonton Mall. Many of you have joined us there before, but Tommy Gazzola will be there for the GCL Diesel pregame show, which starts at 6 o'clock tonight and take you right on up to puck drop just after 7:30. So Westgate Boston Pizza is where we will be tonight for game one. It's where we were at for game one of the last series, and the place absolutely erupted when they tied it, and then heartbreak when they gave it right back to the Kings in game one. Let's stay with the Caps game, and then I want to get back to Toronto and Florida last night, Huss. But because we're on tonight's action, let's just say there the Washington Capitals at home tonight against the Carolina Hurricanes to open this series. They are the home dog at +110 tonight. The total is sitting at 5.5. The over is -133. The under is -105. I think it was on the Lock Shop yesterday when we were talking about goaltenders who had good series in the first round, or at least put up good numbers in the first round. And the two names at the top of that list, Huss, were Logan Thompson and Freddie Anderson. So I don't imagine a world where this series comes down to a battle of the goaltenders because there's too many good and impactful players everywhere else. But how much does that factor into it? And if you had to pick a side based on Logan Thompson or Freddie Anderson, who would you roll with here?
Well, listen, I think based on this season, I'm going to give the nod to Thompson. Certainly, he'd been one of the top goaltenders all season long. He didn't end up getting a Vezina nod just because I think he missed some time. But, I mean, he was a huge part of Washington's 51-win season in the first place in the West. I mean, Freddie, geez, I don't know how to put it. Anderson is a guy that, you can certainly win games with. But he seems to be, and this is probably unfair, but almost made of glass. I mean, he is always on the verge of being injured or being out for some reason. That's why he just signed an extension for $2.5 million with $3.5 or $4 million in incentives. They basically want him to play if he's going to earn that money, and he was obviously fine to do that. But I would say, with it being in Washington tonight and the success that Thompson has had, the way that he played in the first round, I mean, I think if we're going to give a nod, it's probably not a massive one, but I would give it on the Washington side of things. To me, I think that entire spot, I mean, the rink tonight, it's going to be crazy. Like, let's not forget what happened between these two teams at the end of the season. There was that Chatfield UFC move. There was Tom Wilson going after who was it? That tiny guy. Was it Stankoven? He was going to triangle.
It was Stankoven. You're right.
Or 5'8". So there should be a lot of juice in this series. And listen, I think Carolina's an amazing team. They're great forechecking, their pressure, their neutral zone game is excellent. But I'm going to ride with the Caps if this one gets nasty. And I think it's going to be nasty before things even start. So I'm looking for a big Tom Wilson series here. I mean, the bigger the games, the deeper we get into the playoffs, I think the more impactful he becomes. And I'm very looking forward to seeing Protas, speaking of big monsters.
Yep.
He was unavailable for pretty much the entire first round. He'll be good to go right now. So, both on the back end, I'll give a slight nod to Washington. Up front, I think forwards 1 to 12, you can certainly make the argument that Carolina might have I don't think it's a big gap.
Not a huge advantage, no.
But just when you add in the way I think Washington is going to want to play, if they can dictate it, I think that really does play into the Caps' hands. So it should be a really fun series. I mean, for whatever reason, the Carolina or those East series or this division in particular seems to lack the juice of a lot of the others. But if you remember the craziness that happened between these two teams late in the season, I think this one actually is going to have, it'll definitely be worthwhile tuning in for, especially in game one, where I think there is going to be some tones that are set right out of the gate by a guy in the home jersey wearing number 43 and whoever wants to join him in the muck.
Dusty and Huss with you here on the Lock Shop. You can hit us up anytime over in the chat, or you can text us at 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. I see Adam over there on YouTube says, boys, big Caps fan here. No clue why everyone is sleeping on them. Montreal's a very good team, so don't let that fool you. And I'm telling you right now, Ryan Leonard is an offensive star about to break out. He has been absolutely all around it. Of course, he's the guy that they added out of college, big college star, U.S. hockey star, and scored that empty netter the night when we all thought Ovechkin was going to get the empty netter to break the record. Penner's Pancakes over in the chat says, can anyone really pick a goalie in these playoffs? Like Boblin in some soft ones last night. You never know what you're going to get with goalies now. Huss, what is that? I know Wyshynski had an article, I think, today from ESPN where he said, should we just accept that the NHL playoffs are kind of high scoring now? Is this a goalies related thing? Are we just missing elite goaltenders nowadays, or is it the way the game is played? Because Hellebuck looked average in the first round. Vasilevsky wasn't good in the first round, and Darcy Kemper, who's also nominated for the Vezina, was outside of one game, was below average in the first round. So what is the deal with goaltending?
Well, I have a theory on this, is that, the goalies throughout the year, the starters, have very set schedules. Like I'll just take Hellebuck, for instance. I mean, Hellebuck plays more than just about any goaltender in the league, but you look at where they don't start him. They don't start him on the second end of back-to-backs. They will. Now, again, he probably faced most of the top competition all year. It wasn't like, oh, we're going to play him against the Sharks, and then when Dallas is coming into town, here you go, here's your start, Eric Comrie. But the backup goalies are getting those kind of schedule lost games, like the second end of a back-to-back with travel beforehand. And then the other thing is that once you get to the first round of the Stanley Cup playoffs, the bottom half of the league is no longer invited to the dance. And, you're playing better competition against better players, teams that have had more success. And I just think the job of the goaltenders is that much more difficult because of the quality of players and the quality of opposition that's coming at them. So I don't think we should be maybe entirely surprised that those numbers are not quite where they were. Although if you look back at other years in the Stanley Cup playoffs, often the way the games are called and played, it's so much tighter that just simply the scoring chances aren't there and those numbers come down. That has not been the case throughout the first round of this year's playoffs. Far from it.
All right, let's get to last night's game. The Toronto Maple Leafs, great start. Could not ask for a better start. There's the Stolar situation. He was released from hospital this morning. Chris Johnston obviously reporting that there's not going to be any other supplemental discipline. The Panthers, a little bit of a game one vibe in that Oilers-Kings series when Florida kind of turned it on a bit in the third period, but Toronto managed to hang on. Huss, let's just start with the Stolar story here. Your thoughts on how that all played out? Took a puck right off the head early in the game. Looked like he might have been shaken a little bit there. Then gets the Sam Bennett bump. Bennett obviously had an availability today and said, he's one of my buddies from last year. I was just playing my game. I didn't want to send him to the hospital, obviously. Very eventful first game between Florida and Toronto.
Yeah. First off, the start, Willie Stiles, oh my God. That was the dream first period for the Leafs. And, talking to some Leaf friends and like watching Brian Hayes on TSN afterwards, he said that might've been the best 40 minutes that teams played all year long, which if you are a Leaf fan or you're hoping for these Canadian teams to stay alive, that is a really, really good sign. The Stolars play, I feel brutal for him. And listen, I'm always here to throw heat at the Florida Panthers. I think they're a dirty team. I think they play at and often way over the line. And I know Maurice likes it that way. And hey, hard to argue when you're the defending Stanley Cup champs. But in this case, I think it's pretty clear that this happened on that shot he took to the dome earlier than that. And now, I haven't gone back and kind of gone back and rewatched the game with the time in between, but he was sort of rattled on that, then played a few more minutes. Then the Bennett thing happened. And then there was the timeout and he was over and he started barfing on the bench. Now, Christopher Nowitzki, this is something that's important for people to know. Is
that the concussion guy?
Yeah, a lock shop public service announcement.
Yeah.
And this guy knows. I've had him on the show a couple times before. I remember when he was in WWE, but he is like a Harvard guy, like very, very smart. And he's got the Concussion Institute. If you have a suspected head injury and then start vomiting, he said that's the time to get to an emergency room. Like that can be something that's much, much greater. I think that's part of the reason why we heard that he was taken to the hospital on a stretcher in the third period. And, just you want to see him back and be good. But I really think, much like everyone was pissed off around here when Montgomery was telling everyone that, Scheifele got hit or hurt on the Faxa hit.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, you don't even know what he's actually out with. And if it is a concussion, like I said in the building when Scheifele got rocked by Braden Shen, there's no way he's out for the next shift. Minimum, the concussion spotter is going to pull him in. Well, they didn't do that. And I'm not sure whether concussion spotters have a different threshold right now.
Because it's the playoffs. Yeah.
Because it's so, listen, you pull a team's goaltender or their first line center for any extended period of time. That can be the difference in a game. So, I guess it is a really fine line. But no one appreciated that. We all know that head injuries can not show themselves immediately. They can take hours, they can take a day to show up. So it does seem like the initial point of contact with that heater that he took to the head, I think probably was the start of it. But the bottom line is Sam Bennett didn't do enough. It certainly didn't look that malicious. And I watched it a bunch of times. I know there was some contact, but it kind of didn't really seem that much. Now, it was a little awkward, and I think it sort of moved his head at an angle, and he certainly wasn't ready for it. And that's just greasy Sam Bennett.
Yeah.
But I'm not surprised that there's no supplemental discipline on this. We'll be quite interested to see how the Leafs handle it. And I guess if you're a Leafs bettor for this series or a Leaf fan, you just wonder whether this guy's going to be able to come back, and in the present, whether Joseph Woll will be able to hold it down, because what started off as a bit of a tandem ended up being Stolars is your starting goalie. And if in case of emergency, break glass will bring Woll out. Well, the glass has been broken in game one.
How important do you think it is for Toronto to stay out of the extracurricular stuff against Florida? Is that a path to knock off a Florida team that nobody in the East has been able to do for the last 2 years? Like when Bennett starts doing stuff and Tkachuk starts doing stuff and some of their other guys start to, turn that grease level up a bit. Do you gotta fight dirt with dirt, like Pat Quinn used to say, or do you just let them deal with their own antics?
Man, listen, I guess depending on your team, you could have an argument to do that. But even with Craig Berube on the bench, unless he's going to suit up and be out there, I'm not sure they have the personnel to beat the Panthers at their own game. I mean, the best way that they can handle things is make them pay on the power play and try and be disciplined and not take any stupid penalties. Like, listen, Max Domi will be there. Like, if, one of those guys wants to screw around and Max Domi can go out and drop the gloves or take a run at one of those guys. Yeah, sure. And maybe the Leafs get a little more aggressive in and around Bob in game number 2, considering what happened to Stolarz, although it's a dangerous thing to do, knowing that they're going to be paying very close attention to all of this. But I just don't really think that the Leafs are built. I mean, like Ryan Reeves isn't coming out of the gate. You know what I'm saying? So, like, the thing about the Panthers is that they're really greasy, they're tough, but those guys are also really good. And if you get sucked into that, that's a big advantage for Florida, in my opinion.
Yeah, you can try. I had to. I'm a sucker for Leafs fans' anguish and anger. So when reporter Chris Johnson today said there won't be something, I popped in there just to see what the reaction was like. And people were like, well, that's all right. I guess we'll just dress Ryan Reeves. And I'm like, listen, the Florida Panthers are begging for you to throw Ryan Reeves on the ice right now. Like, you can't. It was funny that was sort of the default for a lot of those people. Like,
yeah. Well, I mean, why else did they sign the guy, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's supposed to be the deterrent or whatever. I mean, we basically found out that he, at this point, just isn't really capable of playing a regular shift right now. Certainly not at this level, and I don't think we're going to see him at any point. But would you love to have him? I mean, would you go 11-6? As it were, and essentially just dress a guy that can go out and take a run at someone or get some sort of.
You can't do that in the playoffs in 2025, right? Like, no way.
No, and listen, Florida can score goals too. Like, you want to have Reeves go out and take a run at a guy and get a double minor or a 5-minute major? It could be 2-3-0 after that. So, listen, I don't think that's going to be. It is going to be important for any team. If you want to beat the Florida Panthers, you're going to need to make the most of your power plays, and you're going to have to keep your composure. And that is easier said than done with the group that just added noted rat Brad Marchand to the mix.
Yeah.
But that's why it's such a big test. But I thought the Leafs passed it big time. I mean, you lose your goaltender, and then he gives up a couple quickies, and it gets pretty nervous, and they survive. It's a heck of a way for Toronto to start that first-round series.
Marchand was buzzing in the third, too, eh? He's got some game left still. Man, he was flying around there.
Yeah.
What a pickup. Worked out well. That's going to be a great series. Did your opinion on the Panthers winning that series change at all last night, Huss? We were thinking long series anyway, right? So
yeah. Well, listen, I mean, I think Toronto's right in this. I mean, I think that in a close series like this, I think I'll sort of give the nod to the team that's done it before. But there's a lot of reason to believe that we're on the precipice of some teams being able to do some things that maybe they haven't been doing in recent history. I mean, if you're one of these people that's lining up the Carolina Hurricanes at the ticket window, like so many people have, and certainly odds makers have, well, that's something that they haven't been able to get over the hump. And they got a real big test in this series, and then they'll have to meet the winner of Florida and Toronto. That's not going to be easy. I mean, the Jets, for instance, written off. They're here in the second round. They've got that monkey off their back. What are they capable of against a Dallas team that they, dominated in the regular season? Jets were 3-1 against Dallas, gave up 5 goals. Now, if they get the Connor Hellebuck back that we saw in overtime and against Dallas this year, they'll have a good chance to do that. And then, we've already talked about the Leafs. The Leafs, you're losers until you aren't, right? And they just got over that first round hump, and I think they're a dangerous team right now. So the more I look at all of these numbers for the series, and this would include, I didn't take the Leafs beforehand, but I did think they had a chance. But as I say, I think in a close series, put it this way, I think the Leafs were good value at the number that they were. I think Florida was maybe too big of a favorite, but I also think the same thing for Dallas, and I also think the same thing for Carolina right now. So I think certainly on individual game pricing, we're going to have an opportunity going with these dogs, especially when they're playing at home like the Caps are tonight and the Jets are tomorrow.
Did you catch either of the NBA games last night, Huss?
You know what? It's funny you say that. I wasn't really paying attention at all, but I was on my feed and I saw that there was the Bet Gala. A bunch of
the Met Gala in New York City. The Met Gala, yeah.
Yeah, no, the Bet Gala.
What's the Bet Gala?
The Bet Gala was an event that they did down, I think, in Arizona.
Okay.
And like Big Cat and Portnoy, like all the Barstool people were there. But Jerry O'Connell was there in a
Jerry O'Connell.
Yeah, because like he's probably the number one guest on Pardon My Take. He's also a huge Knicks guy.
Okay.
So they had the Bet Gala. Everyone wore their ridiculous costumes to, I don't know where it was, somewhere down in Arizona that Barstool's hooked up with. And everyone made bets and they watched the Celtics and the Knicks game. And I saw a bunch of this back and forth of them watching this game. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's on. And I ended up catching the end of it. So huge win for the Knicks.
Down 20 in the third quarter, buddy.
Is that what it was?
It was down 20 in the third quarter.
Number on the Knicks were at that point on the money line, 10-1.
I hope they got on it at the Bet Gala. Yes, you would have had to at that point. Yeah, they were down by 20 in the third quarter. I had a little bit of a rant this morning. Like when that game was tied at the, I think it was still at the end of regulation. Jason Tatum's got the ball. You're tied. Take it to the hoop. Take it to the rim. Instead, it's the like fake pull up contested three. It's like you don't need a three to win the game. Like you are a bigger man, the guy who's guarding you. And there was room in the lane to get to the hoop. And then Brunson came back and missed that little floater to send the game to overtime. And then OG Anunoby, among others, stepping up in overtime for the Knicks. Just an incredible come from behind victory against a really good Boston team.
Timmy Two Shoes in the chat. The world must be on Golden State +7, which has been bet down to +6.5. But I'm going to be an idiot and take the T-Wolves -6.5 and the Ant-Man to go over 27.5. T-Wolves are a big team. Zulu +1100 Nuggets live bet.
Oh, Zulu, well done, sir.
This year, Zulu. That was me and you last year. We were on the Nugs. Listen, I'm in with you. I know I said that I was going to take Cleveland.
He's back. Team. He's back to the Nugs.
I'm back with the Nuggets, especially there. I mean, I was really disappointing the way they lost last year. But man, you see what they did last night against OKC. They were down too in that game quite a bit. Absolutely. Yeah, they finished on like a 20-something to 6 run. It was an incredible finish. I had Russell Westbrook as the play of the day yesterday, over 11.5 points. That was an easy cash. So a no sweater on that one. The Nuggets, look, OKC's great, but the Nuggets, Jokic was 40-20 last night, 40-20-5. Guy's a freak. I like the Minnesota play tonight. I can't remember who you said had that, but I don't mind. Yeah, I don't mind that Minnesota play tonight. The T-Wolves are too big. Like the Warriors don't come with a lot of size. They're kind of built a bit size-wise. In fact, I think the Lakers are even a bit bigger than the Warriors. So I think Rudy Gobert, Naz Reid, Julius Randle, probably going to be too much size for the Golden State Warriors. And then the Ant-Man's a killer. He's a killer. The over 27.5 tonight. Think about what that guy's done the last 2 years. He took out Kevin Durant in the first round last year with Bradley Beal. Then took out Jokic along the way last year as well, and then ended up losing in the conference final to Luka and the Mavs. And then this year, he's already taken out Luka and LeBron, and has a chance to take out Steph and Jimmy right now. Like that's an all-time resume without even getting to a final. The hit list, and they've got a great, and that's a guy who has a hit list at his house, right? He's like, okay, I've beaten this guy, check. I'm beating this guy now. Check. I think the Timberwolves probably get this thing done in 6 or less, to be honest with you. How good. And I'm looking at you, Zulu, who just said, let's do it. What a crazy disappointment last year. LOL. Yeah, we did get let down. How about a T-Wolves Nuggets rematch in the Western Conference final for a trip to the championship? Well, as far as the script goes, I think the NBA would be okay with that. Nothing against OKC. But no, listen, OKC, this is part of the reason why I really want Denver to do it. I'm a huge Jokic guy, and the Joker, is having these incredible seasons. Obviously, he does have the one title, but when you look at what OKC has right now in their roster, and the fact that they have 1 million first-round picks over the next 5 years, like this, if it doesn't happen this year for OKC, don't worry about it. They still could, especially with a bunch of these older stars kind of phasing out. I mean, they could be on the verge of a dynasty, even if they lose in this round. Like, I think you can, we were doing future bets right now, if someone
put that
was
stock in OKC,
if someone was putting up lines for 2026 NBA title, 2027, 2028, 2029, OKC would be a massive favorite over the rest of the league.
100% agree. What's coming up on WST today, Huss?
Well, we're finally going to have to move on to round 2. It is going to be difficult. I think we'll still be talking about Sunday night for the majority of the show.
Did you hit a high yesterday on WST?
Oh, it was insane. We had over 1,200 live in the afternoon. It was, I haven't seen where the show finished at, but it was absolute. And we went for almost 3 hours. It was never under about 850. And for a good 2 hours, we were 1,200 live. Yeah, it was quite the party. But Murat's going to join us. I mean, we'll definitely still be talking about how the hell that happened. Start getting into Jets Dallas because, of course, they're playing tomorrow. We will head down to Dallas and get the latest on the Stars. Paul Edmonds, who had the call, Arstoff, he's going to be coming on today. He's going to have a good time. But I have a segment ready to go at the end of the program before we get into the lines. Stories of people who left Game 7 early.
I saw you asking for those last night, and I was wondering if anybody was going to get in.
Oh my God. Some of the really good ones have been sent as DMs because I don't think people wanted to be part of the thread. But the combination of people telling stories of people that they saw leaving, a few people have absolutely owned it and said, yeah, we left with 4 minutes left and then heard the tying goal and we had to go to a bar to find it out. And I mean, anyway, I'm going to have some fun with this. This is going to be like a life learning lesson for sport fans. Who cares if the drive takes an extra 10 minutes to get home?
You'll be okay.
Don't do it. You know what? The old beat the blues, not the traffic. So that was an old thing. I was in the old Section S in the old stadium. For the Bombers. It was like the far. So if you were calling a game, you'd be looking at the east side. It was the far section, and it started as a student section. And they had a good deal on tickets, and then everyone just renewed the seats. So like this, there was like 38-year-old students, guys that had seats in 18, but so it was a very, very rowdy section, clearly like the section in the old stadium. And dude, like if someone left the game, the Bombers could be down by 21 and someone in the fourth quarter kind of gets them, goes down. You'd have 200 people just,
no way.
Would just shake the keys at everybody. And chant beat the traffic. And there was a little bit of that on Sunday night. And now some of the great stories of regret of all time from fans. So we're going to have fun with that coming up top of the hour on WST. And by the way, I know some people are asking about poker. We certainly will do one sometimes. Jets and Oilers on opposite days right now. We were thinking maybe Sunday with the team in the afternoon, but I think I might actually go to Dallas. So we'll fire you all a message. You can pay attention to the socials, and we'll look forward to doing that again at some point. It was always a lot of fun.
All right, Winnipeg Sports Talk coming up. Huss, we'll talk to you tomorrow, man.
Right on. Take it easy, fellas.
There you go. That is Huss thinking about going off to Dallas. Eh? What a guy. You got to live that life. Here's what I put together. The boys will probably be putting it up right away over on our ESD specials page at playalberta.ca. I just sent it to them a few moments ago. Oh, and they've already got it up. All right, so it is the Lock Shop Partner Parlay. Timberwolves. I got to double check on this because I wanted the Oilers puck line. Oilers puck line plus 1.5, not minus 1.5. So to lose by 1 or less. See if they can sort that out for me. Because I want Oilers puck line. And it looks like the number they put up for it actually would be the Oilers puck line. And then Minnesota Timberwolves to win. So that's up there. I just want them to clarify that a little bit more. But the Lock Shop Partner Parlay should be Oilers on the puck line plus 1.5 and the Timberwolves to win. Jay's play of the day is up there. My play of the day, Bouchard assist is up there plus 106. The early bird bet, Draisaitl goal, Bouchard assist, Kane 3 shots plus 430. You can still get on that Elks, little boosted up to plus 120 for 9 or more wins on the season. And then the Lock Shop Partner Parlay from yesterday is up until puck drop in the first game tonight. Oilers and Caps both to win their series at plus 305. All of those are up on the EST specials page over at Play Alberta. Make your bets count for you and everyone else with the Play Alberta app with hundreds of player props among the biggest leagues out there, NFL, CFL, NHL, NBA, MLB, you name it. You're not just playing for fun, supporting the province as well. Play Alberta revenue helps fund Alberta programs and services. Deposit today and use the promo code YEG50 to get an EST exclusive $50 free bet to get started. All right, 2 guys and a goalie. Up next, we've got the Gene Principe haircut. We're going to get into that a little bit. Thank you very much for joining us in the Lock Shop today. Best of luck tonight, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.